Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here, once again. Right, collection update time. I'm not going to bother with the usual, oh it's been a while since I've done a video. Let's just go right to it, because there's actually a lot that I want to talk about today, okay? Not necessarily games I picked up, but like, fucking, just some things that have interested me recently in terms of like, improving my retro gaming experience, I guess you could call it. The first thing I want to talk about here are these things. Now, cables and shit. Now, see, for years, right, I've heard, like, through various, like, on websites and YouTube videos, all that jazz, that composite cables are shit. You know, composite cables are, just a minute, I will have some here. This'll do. Yeah, this is composite right here, okay? Your fucking red, yellow, white cable stuff, you know, like, every single one of my consoles had this, and I always just kinda, like, accepted it as the norm. It's like, this is how you play a game, isn't it? But I would always hear things like S-Video, and what else would I hear? RGB cables, and I was always like, fuck off, what's all this about? I never really gave it much thought, but I finally decided to try it out, and I ordered myself one of these, an RGB cable for the Mega Drive. And I remember popping it in thinking, right, let's see what this is all about, and right from the beginning when you turn on the Mega Drive, you know, the white text, produced by or under license from Sega Enterprise Ltd, right away I'm like, oh my god, that looks so crisp, that looks so much better than the fucking composite cables. On one hand, I was like so happy, because this was like so much better, but at the same time I was also sad because it's like, as Squidward would put it, I've wasted so many years on fucking shitey composite. So immediately I sat out to buy like cables for all my older gaming consoles, you know? I've bought 5 so far, including the Mega Drive one, and I've had a 40% success rate. The Mega Drive one works fine, the Saturn one works fine, the PlayStation for PS1, PS2 was just a composite cable in disguise, cheeky bastards. Nintendo won because Super Nintendo, N64 and GameCube, all 3 of those share the same connector. That one didn't work, it made everything look like all black and discoloured, it was ugly. And the Dreamcast one technically worked, but it put like a black bar at the right hand side of the screen so that the left hand side was like cut off and it was kind of unplayable. Apparently you can fix that with positioning your TV screen. I didn't have that there, so yeah. I'm glad that at least 2 of my favourite consoles, Mega Drive, Saturn, like had working cables, but I'm gonna try and like look for some more higher quality ones, because these are ones that are fucked. Okay, this is for like, what is it, GameCube and PlayStation, these. So yeah, these are fucked. So if any of you are gonna go try out these, like, gonna go for like RGB, because apparently RGB is only really relevant in Europe, American TVs don't have it, in that hand you go for like S-Video, but holy shit, it's really made a difference, and I'm such a big, like, fan of it now, I suppose. So, yeah, RGB cables, they're the shit. Okay, and the next thing I want to talk about is, like, I don't know, I think I just spent one night looking up this sort of stuff. Not necessarily about games, but how to, like, improve the quality of gaming, I guess. I don't know. But this is more to do with the Sega Saturn. Now, if you are even a casual collector of the Sega Saturn, you should know what this is. Right, the Action Replay, this lets your console become region-free, it acts as a memory card, and it gives you cheats, and it also utilises the backup RAM that some games from Japan did, essentially. So, yeah, it's got all that, so it's very essential if you're into Saturn collecting. But one thing I heard about like over a year ago was a fan translation of a certain game had come out for the Sega Saturn. Actually, there's quite a few games. There's like the Shining Force 3 trilogy, that's completely translated, that's definitely the big one. But the other one was Police Knots. Police Knots was a pseudo-sequel to Snatcher. You know, it was a visual novel style game directed by Hideo Kojima, and I really love Snatcher, so I really wanted to play Police Knots, and there's a few fan translations cutting about, but the Sega Saturn version was considered the best. It had like, I don't know exactly what it had, it allowed you to use like the light gun, and it had extra scenes or something. Basically it's considered the best version. So I just had this urge. It's like, I gotta figure out how you get this fan translation like up and running, and I've ended up ordering, and you'll see this on like my next collection update probably, a cartridge that will let me basically play backups on my Sega Saturn. Now, I've ordered a Japanese copy of Policenauts for the people who that bugs, you know, so I'm legally owning it. Not that I'm gonna do that for every game. I can't wait to play backups on the Saturn. It's gonna be awesome. I've never bothered trying that for the Dreamcast actually. I don't know if I remember experimenting with it because obviously the Dreamcast had infamously poor copyright protection. So I think my Dreamcast is one of the like very last models that actually cut that out. Could be. I don't know if I'm right on that, but either way, I've not been able to get that to work yet. So yeah. Can't wait for that cartridge. It's actually from the same people that did the Action Replay cartridge, or at least you could buy them on the same website. So yeah, that will be awesome. And one other game I've got here, this is a Japanese import for the Sega Saturn. Recently I played through this game. Where is it? I should have it right here. Come on, Donald. Why do you always do this? If you want to talk about a certain game, you get them all up, like, before you start talking, okay? Why are you gonna waste yours and everybody else's time doing this? Here we go. I recently played through this, Odin Sphere. Now, this is the PlayStation 2 version. I played the PS4 remake of this game. And the PS4 remake was one that I wanted to pick up for a while, but, you know, when it was announced and stuff, but when it came out, it was like 50 quid. And I kind of had the mindset, it's like, wait, an updated PS2 game is going to be 50 quid? I'm no buying that, so yeah, I let it pass. But it was on sale on the PlayStation Store over the Christmas period for like 16 quid, so I thought, alright, let's give this a go. And I really, really liked it, you know, I was very surprised by how much I liked it, honestly. The only Vanillaware game I've played besides that is Muramasa the Demon Blade on the Wii. Really liked that, and a little bit of Dragon's Crown for PS3, but that's coming out with a remake as well, so I'm just thinking I might as well wait for that. So I decided to pick this up, Princess Crown for the Saturn. This is basically, you look at gameplay and screenshots of this game, and you just immediately see that's an older Odin Sphere, you know, it's the 2D hack and slash style of game, and yeah, but it was only released in Japan, and there's apparently like a fan translation of this floating about that you can burn to a disc. I don't think it's complete yet though, the last I looked at it. But either way, I'm gonna give this a go, even if I have to like use one of those like walkthroughs, you know, for English speakers that help you through a Japan-only game. I've never done that before, so if I get to do it with this, that'll be interesting as well. But either way, this is a really nice thing to have. Princess Crown for the Saturn. Definitely wanted this one for a while. Okay, now on to actual games now. Here we go. Right, now, this one, oh, I forgot to show this. Here's my dodgy as fuck copy of Policenauts. Yes. Can't wait for that cartridge to arrive. Okay. Right, now, here we have Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. Now, this is a re-release of a game that was on the DS. America only. I have it right here. And this game, honestly, is like a cursed game for me. You know, I've talked about them a lot. You know, games that, for whatever reason, you start, you don't beat, so you try starting again, you get a little bit further, but you don't beat it again. You know, I've tried that at least twice with Radiant Historia. Because there's so much about the game that I think is just kick-ass, you know, it's actually a sort of like successor to Chrono Trigger, in a sense that it's this big RPG with time-travelling mechanics, but it's weaved into the gameplay so well and you're travelling between different points in time. It's really good that way, so yeah, it's I don't know why I never beaten it. So naturally, when this got announced, it was like, I guess I gotta get this, don't I? So yeah, I now have this, I've been playing it for a bit, and I'm very into it, and I really hope it stays like that, because I gotta beat this fucking game. I really do. So yeah, Radiant Historia, can't wait to get more into it, I really can't. This is going to be probably one of the last hurrahs for the 3DS. The other game that's coming out in like a few months is another Atlas-like remake of a DS game, which is this one. Still wrapping its cellophane, shows I've no fucking played it. Which is Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. I have this pre-ordered as well. we'll see how that turns out. So yeah, 3DS still alive and kicking, it seems. Okay, next up I have, this just came the other day there, same with Radiant Historia, Bayonetta 2 for the Switch. Now, I love me some Bayonetta, so I was definitely going to buy this. The fact that it comes with Bayonetta 1 is a nice treat. Granted, that's the 4th version of Bayonetta 1 I own. I have it on 360, Wii U, PC, and now Switch. It's pretty mental. Some of you may recall this whole like port debacle that Nintendo's going through from like Wii U games to the Switch. And I'm mostly like for it, but I don't really want to pay like full price for like Donkey Kong and Tropical Freeze again. Even though I love that game, I don't really want to. And but I did go for this mainly because I really like Bayonetta, and it came with Bayonetta 1 as well. So unless they go down in price, this is probably the only port I will get. But I've broken my word on that before anyway, so whatever. Bayonetta 2 for the Switch, sweet. I didn't bother with that like special edition thing, I don't know, I just didn't care. Okay, next up we have, I'll show this first. This has sort of eluded me for a while actually. Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. This is basically a sort of like updated version of Outrun 2 for the Xbox, you know? And it became like really pricey suddenly. I remember seeing this game like in shops and everything, and it was like super cheap. And now it's like sort of went up in price, which was kind of annoying because I always wanted to pick it up. And I love Outrun 2. Outrun 2 is superb. I love Outrun in general, you know. So I really wanted to play this again. It does contain like the entirety of Outrun 2 on this, so you might as well skip the original Outrun 2 and go right to this. Granted, this is a lot more expensive. But it's got like a whole bunch of new tracks and you know, cars and all that. It's basically, it really is just like an updated version of it. I think they try to treat it like it's its own separate game, but it's not. It's the same fucking thing. So yeah, really nice to have that in any case. Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast. Right, and lastly we've got some PS4 games. Now this game, I told myself I wasn't going to buy it. But then it came out and I'm like, you're gonna buy it. This happens so much. This happens so fucking much, Donald. Why you do this to yourself? Shadow of the Colossus for PlayStation 4. Now, one of my favourite games of all time, as is Ico and Last Guardian as well. And when this got announced, I just gave it a massive meh. You know, I was like, okay, they're remastering this game, is that it? Like, I don't know, maybe it's because they've remastered it already. Maybe it's because, like, with the sort of lukewarm reception, like, it wasn't bad, the reception of The Last Guardian, but it definitely didn't meet the level of hype that it should have. Granted, with the 9-year development cycle, how can you? It's kind of a given at that point that it's not going to be all sailing all the way. But yeah, it just came out and I wasn't impressed, but I saw like gameplay of it just as before it was about to come out and I'm like, I'm gonna buy this, isn't I? And it's a very faithful re-release, you know, controls exactly the same, the Colossus behave exactly the same. It just looks a whole lot better and it looks fucking amazing, you know? I think my main thing was that I was kind of miffed that they didn't bother to add much new stuff. There are new things in here, but it's very minor stuff, the best of which was a Last Guardian reference, which was very small, but I appreciated it, you know. Because, I'm sure I've talked about it before, but Shadow of the Colossus had like 8 cut Colossus that were supposed to be in the game, but they had to take them out and just keep it as 16. And there's video evidence and screenshots of these Colossus existing. And I just thought how amazing it would be if they included those, like, unfinished 8 Colossus in this game. I know that's a lot to ask for, but wouldn't it be amazing? It would. At the very least, maybe come up with a 17th original Colossus that, you know, just as a little incentive to, like, play this one. Doesn't have to be part of the story, it's just there for you to find, and yeah, it's just, it's not. So it really is just a port of the original game. The best version of this game you can play by far. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted a bit more, but at least it was decently priced. So yeah, Shadow of the Colossus, PS4. And lastly, this was kind of an impulse buy actually, Monster Hunter World. Not too much to say about this one. I have tried to get into Monster Hunter in the past. I have the, that's a Monster Hunter Tri Collector's Edition for the Wii up there, which I bought for some reason back in like 2000, whenever it was. But yeah, I could never really get into it, and I've never really gotten into any Monster Hunter game. This is the most I've ever gotten into a Monster Hunter game. Mind you, that's kind of the case with loads of people at the moment. And I've got some friends to play it with, which is definitely awesome. And yeah, depending on how much I get into it, I'll probably have more to say. But yeah, just not much to say at the moment. Monster Hunter World for the PS4. Okay. Right, that's that, guys. Yeah. See you after. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.